Good morning. It is Wednesday, October 8th, about a minute and a half before 4 a.m. Currently looking at XTLB. I like the way this closed last night, kind of turning upwards, a bit of a pullback here. When this opens, I'll see if we can get a break through 6 and then see what it looks like around 665. This is an Israel, I think, biotech stock. I'm also watching ATON. I like the float on this under 900,000. Had a pretty significant pop up from about $5 to $24 last night. Quite a steep pullback, but I'm just curious what this thing can do. See if you can break through VWAP and get over about $15. And then I'm also watching TAN-H. I've traded TAN-H in the past. I think it's been a while, but this one has put in some nice moves. Lower float, 1.3 million shares. Kind of pushed high toward the end of the after hours session last night. So curious what this can do. If it can get over 240, you then have room up to about 4, and then we have the 200 daily at 475. So this one does have some overhead resistance that's relatively close, but I think it's still worth watching. I have the scanners pulled up, so if anything starts pinging, I'll pivot to watching that. Otherwise, we'll see what we got. So XTLB opening lower, 10H lower, ATON pushing somewhat higher. See ATON there. Back to XTLB. Looks like Nerve is pushing up. I don't like that one. Let's see ACXP pushing higher. TAN-H isn't really doing anything. ATON popped up to about 15 and is pulling back. XTLB isn't doing anything. Nerve was popping up, but I didn't like how much it pulled back in after hours last night, so I'm not particularly interested in that. I think it's almost more like a dead cat bounce. Technically, it's not a dead cat bounce, but proportionately, that's what it seems like. So there was a lot that popped up on the scanner there in the last 2.5 minutes. I was trying to focus between that and then what charts I was looking at. XCLB, it just kind of sold off right at 4. It could curl back up and be interested. ACXP over 10. I'm gonna go ahead and get in there. Didn't fill. Got in at 11:15. Can this push through 11:44? Okay, there we go. I wish I would have had that initial entry. I also missed that the 200 is right at 12. See if this can pop back up. I'm in at 11:15. Only 60 shares though. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut that. There's almost $1 share loss there. I wish I would have seen that the 200 was at 12. I would have sold as it popped into that. Now it's back up at 11. I was trying to get in at 10 for the breakthrough 10, but my order didn't get filled, which was unfortunate. And then I got in for the break of 11. But it went up to 12.11, which is about where the 200 daily is. I'm guessing that's why it hit that and then pushed back down. All right. So XTLB, 4 a.m., it just kind of sold off, like I was saying. ACXP, this one's a bit more expensive, but if it could get over 12, it would start looking good. Just basically get over that 200 daily EMA. If it pushes through 12, I might take an entry. Yeah, it's hidden 12.10. ATON, selling off. Any RV, not really interested. Everything else is higher float or cheap. Okay, so it pushed to 12.25. There you go. It's a nice pop. I'm going to get in there for the break of 13. I was only able to get 52 shares. Looks like there's a wall at 13 though. So I'm going to hold this one a bit longer, see what it can do. I only have 50 shares. See SQFT popping up. It's wanting to push higher. It just keeps running into resistance at the whole dollar. This candle can break over 1285. Let's see if it can push through 13. There's 1285. Okay, 13. And then right down back below it. So the high right now is 1340. It's still struggling around the 13 level, as you can see on the level 2. 1325 on the level 2. I'd like to see this thing open up and start really putting in higher range candles, long body candles, push higher. It does seem somewhat extended on the 5-minute. Honestly, the best entry on this would have been the breakthrough VWAP right at 4. I just wasn't watching it. All right, so I'm still holding at 13, 52 shares. See if this thing can push through 1350. And then I'd look for a move through 14. That's a pretty dramatic pullback. BIAF looks like it's moving higher. Some kind of a curl up pattern. Still sticking with the ACXP though. See what it can do. You can see it push down to VWAP and then it's back up in the 13 area. Normally I would try not to hold through such a large pullback, but I only have 52 shares. So even a full dollar pullback is only $52. Which is still a decent chunk of change, but it's different. If I had like 300 shares, I wouldn't have held through that. I would have sold. This thing looks like it's just going to roll over. I'm curious though, can it bounce off the 1144 level, or it'd probably realistically hit 1150 and then bounce? So I'm going to see if we can do that. BIAF. I would look for this thing to get up around the $4 range, do a little pullback, and then push through 410. This looks like it might form like a cup and handle, and then it'll push through the highs of 410. So that's what I'd be looking for on that one. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut that. That's unfortunate. So I didn't lose 740. I think it's more like 170 is what I lost. Yeah, I gotta wait for everything to update. Just couldn't get on the right side of this one. Which is frustrating. I would have held that first entry, it actually would have worked out, but I didn't know how low it was going to go, so I cut it. And if anything, I didn't cut that first one sooner. I waited till I was almost down $1 a share before cutting it. If I remember, though, it dropped quickly because I thought about getting out of it and it wasn't down $1 a share. So that was at 403.26 when I sold. So at 403, it pushed up to 12. Looking at the 5-second chart. Yeah. Now it's probably going to push up higher. It's already up $1 from where I sold. XBIO. It's kind of a nice move on XBIO there. ACXP pushing through VWAP. I'm gonna have to go back and look. I was watching ACXP this morning. I think I'll have to go back and look. I wish I would have seen, like, I haven't marked out, so I must have been watching this one. But I wish I would have seen essentially this 5-minute candle form as it pushed through the VWAP, broke this descending resistance line. I don't know why I didn't see that. That's something I would typically be watching. I know I was watching XTLB. Oh, I wasn't watching ACXP. I was watching XTLB, ATON, and TANH. I think I wasn't watching ACXP because of how much it had pulled back. I think the price also threw me a bit because it was up in like the $12 range and then it pulled all the way back to $7. So just unfortunate. Getting it for that break of 10 was the right move. It was a good trade. If I would have got filled, unfortunately I didn't. And after that, it did go higher, but it was kind of whippy. Like I don't really see a pullback there in the first candle to make a new high. It just kind of had like larger range candles. This dip off of the VWAP at 408 would have been nice. But I think right now I would look for an ABCD pattern to form on the 1 minute, which would probably coincide with the first 5 minutes to make a new high. I think that could give a nice move. We saw some nice moves on the 5-minute charts yesterday on some of these biotech stocks. So as long as this candle holds up, I would look for the next 5 minutes to break over 1230. But this 1 minute candle looks like it's just pushing lower. Yeah, I lost 177 today. Not the best, especially at 4 a.m. My daily max loss I'm trying to keep at 100, so I did go over that. Part of the issue was I was holding to see if that second entry on ACXP could hold 1150. It looked like it was, and I switched over to looking at a different stock, and then when I switched back, it was down at like 1110. So that didn't help. But that's all right. I think the most unfortunate thing about that is I used all my buying power. And we're already seeing stocks that are moving, putting in nice moves this morning. So I know there's going to be really good moves, probably between like 6:30 and 9:30. So it's unfortunate I won't be able to capitalize in any of those because I don't have any buying power left. And I almost didn't take that second trade on ACXB because of the price. I knew I'd only be able to get like a few shares. In hindsight, the move probably would have been to not take that trade and hold for something lower priced so I could get a few hundred shares and something that had fresh news and had a nice setup. I really thought though this thing could push up around the $15 range. So I'm actually somewhat surprised that it hit 13, ran into so much resistance, and then only went up to about 1350 before pulling back. I really thought it could push higher to the $15 range. Also, my entry at 13, once this thing hit 1348 and then pulled back, I should have got out break even. I should have just moved my stop up to break even rather than keep holding. I think if I had done that, it would have saved about $110. So in hindsight, that was the right move. But that's all right. $177 loss isn't end of the world. Typically, I'm making about $200 a day right now. So one good day, I can make that back. So I'm not too worried about it. Just a hard way to start the day. But that's all right. There's always tomorrow. 10H coming back up through the VWAP. Nerve not doing anything. ACXP. It's holding up overall. I would still look for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, see what that does. ATON not doing anything. XTLB not doing anything. BIAF, it looked like it was going to curl back up through the highs, and then it had a pretty dramatic downfall right there. So that's unfortunate. All right, well, bit of a rough month so far. I haven't blown up my account or anything like that, but also just not making significant progress. Red, green, red, red, green, red. So larger red day today, which is unfortunate. So yeah, usually toward the end of the week, things get a bit slower. So I'll be curious to see what tomorrow and Friday look like. But just got to take good setups. I wish I had been watching this one at 4 a.m. for a breakthrough that descending resistance line. I'm still not sure why I wasn't. And then that breakthrough $10 would have been good too had I got filled. But that's all right. All right. Well, I'll probably come back around 6:30 and continue to watch the market just to see what things are doing. But I doubt I will take any more trades. I only have $165 of buying power, so can't really get too much with that. And then I'll be back at it tomorrow morning. Good luck, everyone. So I shouldn't have stopped recording right after I hit stop. I was watching XBIO and took another trade. I only had $165 of buying power. So I was only able to take 20 trades, but I saw this thing push through VWAP right here on the 1 minute. VWAP was 620. It hit a high of about 640 something, 650. Pulled back a little bit, and then as it pushed through 650, I got in. You can see down here in the bottom left, I got filled at 644, 20 shares. And then I held that for a push through the high, which was 825. Mark that out. And then I was holding to see if it could hit 10. And then in just an instant, you can see here on the 5-second chart, it just shot through 10 up to 1078. Once I saw that extension on the 5-second chart, I sold half, got out at 1066. It pulled back, bounced a little bit, and then I just took the rest off. So pretty good trade. It's just unfortunate I only had 20 shares. Again, this is what I was saying right before I quit recording the first time. I wish I wouldn't have taken that second trade on ACXP so that I had a good chunk of buying power for something lower cost that would put in a good move like this. So unfortunate, but I'm glad I got the 20 shares. I think I made close to $70. I think when I ended the first recording, I was down 177 on the day. I'm only down 106 now. So yeah, I made back about $71 on this trade here with 20 shares. So that's really good. So I'm happy with that. That's a nice kind of cap on the trading session. My daily max loss, like I said, is 100. So this is right there. I'm okay with that. I'm still not happy with how I traded ACXP. That first trade, like I said, was fine. I should have cut it sooner. And then the second trade, I should have stopped out break even. It was the wrong move to hold as long as I did. But glad I got at least a decent move on XBIO. I could be happy with that. So, all right, now I'm cutting it for good. I have no buying power left. I'm done. So I'll see everyone tomorrow.